Hello everyone, I'm Grace. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to analyze Yuna's Chinese and learn from it. She is a well-known Korean actress and singer, famous for being a member of the girl group Girls' Generation. She also passed HSK speaking test at the intermediate level, which is very impressive. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. First, I will show you an interview with Yuna. In this clip, the host asked her about her experience playing the role of Anna, which was quite different from her previous roles. Let's see how she responded.
跟之前的比较不一样，这次挑战起来有什么样特别的感觉吗？
一直想了安娜是什么样的人，所以安娜跟我像的地方，是有什么？
First of all, her pronunciation is really good, so I want to focus on the words she used. Here she said,
一直想了安娜是什么样的人。
If you want to say I've been thinking about, you can say 我一直在想。我一直在想。For example, 我一直在想这件事要怎么处理。我一直在想这件事要怎么处理。I've been thinking about how to deal with this thing. Or 我一直在想你上次对我说的话。我一直在想你上次对我说的话。I've been thinking about what you said to me last time. The word Yuna used is 想到。想到。想 is to think, and 到 here has the meaning of getting or having a result. So 想到 is used when you produce a new idea or plan, or you think of a certain thing or person. For instance, 我突然想到一件很重要的事。我突然想到一件很重要的事。I suddenly thought of a very important thing. Or when you and your friend want to come up with a good idea for something, and you suddenly have one, you can say, 啊，我想到了。啊，我想到了。啊，我想到了。Okay, another thing I wanted to point out is the word that she used to connect her speech.
一直想了安娜是什么样的人，所以安娜跟我像的地方，是有什么？
In this clip, she used 所以 to connect her two sentences, but 所以 means so or therefore, so in this case, it's not that suitable. The translation of her sentence is, I've been thinking about what kind of person Anna is and what Anna has in common with me. Here, the transition word is and. In Chinese, you can say 还有。还有。When you say something first and you want to add a bit more information, you can use 还有 to connect your sentences. So it would sound more natural if she said, 我一直在想安娜是什么样的人，还有安娜跟我有什么共同点。Okay, let's move on to the next clip.
这样会害怕？
不
怕？不怕？
我演的时候很有意思。
I've heard many non-native speakers say 很有意思 to be interesting, which is great, but today I want to teach you some alternative ways to express 很有意思. For example, you can say 有趣 to be interesting or entertaining, like 这篇文章很有趣这篇文章很有趣 This article is interesting. 他这个人很有趣他这个人很有趣 He is interesting. Or 很棒很棒 to be very great or awesome. 我觉得这个地方很棒我觉得这个地方很棒 I find this place really great. 这本书很棒这本书很棒 This book is awesome. Another one 很特别很特别To be very special. 这次的旅行对我来说很特别。这次的旅行对我来说很特别。This trip is very special to me. 这家餐厅的食物很特别，很好吃。这家餐厅的食物很特别，很好吃。The food from this restaurant is special and delicious. Okay, let's move on to the next clip.
最后有什么话想要跟台湾的观众朋友说呢？
今天我这个节目录节目很开心了，而且见到你们很开心，以后我们又见面吧。
好嘞，谢谢。
I really like her pronunciation, it's so clear. But let's see, how can we fine-tune her sentences to sound more natural? Here she said,
今天我这个节目录节目很开心了。
It would sound better if she changed this sentence into 今天的节目我录得很开心。今天的节目我录得很开心。This sentence is a common sentence structure in Chinese, which is called topic common structure. In Chinese conversations, sometimes we put a topic at the beginning of a sentence to point out what we are talking about. For instance, 那本书我还给他了。那本书 that book 我还给他了 I gave back to him. 这个问题我问过他了。这个问题 this question 我问过他了 I've asked him. 这个活动很多人会参加。这个活动 this event 很多人会参加。Many people will attend. So we can use this topic common structure to rearrange Yuna's sentence. 今天的节目我录得很开心。今天的节目 today's program 我录得很开心 I recorded it happily. The last thing I want to point out is the difference between 在 and 又. Let's see what she said.
而且见到你们很开心，以后我们又见面吧。
好嘞，谢谢。
In this sentence, 以后我们又见面吧。以后我们又见面吧。Here, instead of using 又 you should use 在。So the sentence should be 以后我们再见面吧。以后我们再见面吧。I know 在 and 又 are both translated into again, so it's quite confusing. But here is the basic rule that will help you distinguish them. When 在 and 又 are used to express again, 在 is usually used when the repeated action hasn't happened yet, and 又 is usually used when the repeated action has already happened. For example, 可以请你再说一次吗？可以请你再说一次吗？ Could you please say that again? You want another person to repeat an action, and that person hasn't done it yet, so you use 再。可以请你再说一次吗？ So in imperative sentences, we mostly use 在 instead of 又。Another example of 在，可以请你再告诉我一次你的名字吗？可以请你再告诉我一次你的名字吗？ Could you please tell me your name again? Let's see an example with 又。他又说了一次。他又说了一次。He said it again. Because he already said it again, we use 又 instead of 在。Another example, 我肚子又饿了。我肚子又饿了。I'm hungry again. Remember, when 又 is used in this way, 了 is often included in the sentence. So the rule is that when expressing again, usually 在 is used when a repeated action hasn't happened yet, and 又 is used when the action already happened, but not always. 又 is also used to talk about regular habitual things that are about to happen again. For instance, 明天又要上班了。明天又要上班了。Tomorrow I have to work again. 我们又要搬家了。我们又要搬家了。We are going to move again. 明天又会下雨。明天又会下雨。Tomorrow it will rain again. So in these examples, 又 is used to talk about things that haven't happened yet, but happens regularly. And also in this usage, 又 is often combined with an auxiliary verb like 要 and 会 in the examples. Okay, that's all for the analysis of Yuna's Chinese. Overall, her pronunciation is really good, and I can understand every sentence she said, despite better word choices or sentence structures. However, the main goal of language learning is using this language to understand and communicate with others. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Like me, when I chat with others in English, I still make tons of mistakes. But we should all learn from them in order to improve ourselves. Alright, I hope you learned a lot from today's video. I will see you next time. Bye!